Okay, I'm Sarah Thomas. I'm a teacher at Birchwood School. I'm also a cross-col lead teacher and a lead impact coach for the relationship-based learning contract.
And I'm Lisa Hunter, and I'm a teacher at Nelson Christian Academy, and I'm the within school col teacher and literacy leader at our school.
So my role this year has been as a buddy to my school at Birchwood and also at NCA. The systems that we've had in place are that with the 4 cross-col teachers we started with 8 schools, and what we did was we split those 8 schools up between the 4 of us, so we each have 2 schools each. So my role is to be a lead impact coach for Birchwood School and for NCA. So because we didn't have 8 cross-col teachers, what that buddy system allows us to do is to have a lead person within every school as a point of contact. It was really beneficial to have, we find it at my school, to have myself as a cross-col lead and to have that knowledge, and so we felt that it would be really good to share that knowledge with another school. And so by doing that across our col, we can really ensure consistency, and we can really be there as a support in the schools that we're working with. And what is important with that is actually building those relationships. So being in my school already, I have really good relationships with my existing staff. We saw how relevant, and I understand the systems of my school. I understand all the various ways that people work, and what we saw that was really beneficial to understand that. So we wanted to recreate that within another buddy school as well. So my role really this year has been getting to know NCA, Nelson Christian Academy, and the staff within it. Which I guess I had started the year before. I had actually already gone into Nelson Christian Academy to do some scanning, so I was familiar with their staff. I had also run some maths workshops for our Kahui Col, and actually Nelson Christian Academy staff were really well, a lot of them came to the workshops, they were well represented, so I actually made some connections before this official role took place, so I knew a lot of the staff there. Which became really important. So when I ended up going to their staff room and buying morning tea for them, I'd already made those connections and got to know them, which was really important. So I guess from there, building that relational trust, I then met Lisa as the within, and we started to form a relationship and get to know each other, get to know how each other worked. And through our training on the relationship-based learning journey, I've been able to support Lisa through her journey as well.
Okay, so when we first had our teacher only day at the beginning of the year, we all met at Broad Green Intermediate Hall. It was a little bit overwhelming for me. There was lots of different schools and many teachers, and it felt quite foreign, not a normal sort of a situation for me to be in, because we were all starting on this new journey together, and I didn't really know what it was all about. I knew there was some relationship-based learning, but didn't know the finer details and the depth of that. And then I was buddied up with Sarah from Birchwood, which just gave me such clarity. I was able to talk with her and meet, and she came along and shouted us morning tea, which was always a bonus as a teacher, and just kind of put my mind at ease and the staff's mind at ease with what we were going to embark on. Okay, so now looking back, since we're about a year and a half into it, thinking about how Sarah has been so helpful to myself, there was some times when we'd had different meetings with within the col for the relationship-based learning, and some places that I got to I didn't really understand, and I was able to just email Sarah just to be reassured and make sure I was on the right track. Like, I feel like I'm capable and able to do things, but I guess I could say that Sarah became my exemplar. I was able to email her and know exactly what I had to do. She'd kind of put me on the straight and narrow, and then I could carry on and do it. For me, that's been really critical. It's been very important. I don't think that I would have been able to carry on if I hadn't had Sarah. We had a lot of staff changes, people leaving, different staff on leave, and we've ended up with just 2 impact coaches, and I got a little bit overwhelmed, and didn't quite know where I was heading with it, and my confidence was starting to wane, and I didn't think that I could put it off, really. I felt like I was failing, and being able to have contact with Sarah and email her, and she'd just turn up. There's different things that I'd say, or she'd read in an email and she would just pick that I was in that place. And Sarah has this real big heart, and she'd just turn up in my class, come and give me a hug, give me a few pointers, reassure me, and I'd be away again. And being able to do that was actually, I'm really passionate about building relationships with students, and I felt like I was a little bit ready to just put it all aside and throw it away. But with Sarah there to support me, I pushed on for what my values are as a teacher and what I want for our children. And I think that I could have easily given that up, and it's quite heavy on my heart to even say that. But because of Sarah, I stuck to what I knew, and she got me back right, and I was able to continue. Being able to go, and like I said earlier, with some of the staff leaving and only being left with 2 impact coaches, I didn't know how we were going to continue it. And Sarah emailed me and came and met with me and said, right, let's get together and you can come over to my school and we'll go through the whole process again, because I was feeling like I couldn't remember how to do anything. I couldn't remember the profile. I wasn't capable. And Sarah's like, yes, you can do this. She built me up, and I went to her school for the day and realised that I could do it. I had it all there. She just kind of really cemented those things that were way back there, but in my teaching brain, with everything else and reports and things and everything happening, as you know, as a teacher, all of a sudden it just came to the forefront, and I remembered it all, and I was able to do it, and that has now put me in this place where I'm actually very happy and feel quite confident to move forward and continue to lead my staff, albeit the new staff that will be beginning next year, but I feel that I can do that, and I really want to implement it across the school and show everybody the benefits.
Yeah. Okay, so part of my role as a cross-col lead within our Kahui meant that we received extra training, I guess, in the relationship-based profile pedagogy from Lorraine and her team, and that would happen on every term. We've had something called a Wananga week, where we have had specialist training come from Cognition. We work together as a cross-col team. We've had extra support from Nayland College, who are a year ahead of us, so we were able to speak to the lead impact coaches from their school and receive support and guidance from them also. And what that has meant is that we've been able to build relationships between ourselves, build relationships between ourselves and Nayland College, and see the value in that. So what happens is that relationship-based learning, you actually are fulfilling that in your everyday, the way that you are as a professional. It actually becomes a really important part of the way that you work. And I really see that, and I try and emulate that in the way that I deal with others now. I try and think really carefully about all the parts of the relationship-based profile and try and show that in the way that I work and the way I relate to others. But having that extra capacity has allowed me to support my buddy school and my within coach in order to help her along, to know that I feel confident with the relationship-based profile, so that I feel slightly ahead, not the be-all and end-all, but slightly ahead, so that I can support her through and build her confidence, but doing it in a way which is not hierarchical, but just on an even playing field, being vulnerable myself, putting myself out there, allowing her to watch me teach, and also having conversations where we are frank and honest, and we build that relational trust, and that's been really, really important, I think, in order to get that, grow that journey between us. So.
And I found exactly that, that the buddy system that we've put in place has been that, and I felt that you were just, you never came across as I know everything and I'm going to tell you what to do. You worked alongside me, and I knew that you had that experience, and when we went to the different groups, for Wananga week, I was able to interact with not only you as my buddy, but also with Vanya and Isaac, and it was a very comfortable place to be, and I learned a lot through that, and realised that I was actually kind of embedding myself in the relationship-based learning profile, going through how I felt that, beginning with that deficit thinking, whereas I would be, I can't, this is happening because I'm too busy, people are leaving my school, and all these things were happening, and you were like, no, come back, and you just kept making me rethink and kind of get it back, and then you were showing me the caring, and then the high expectations I had for myself, and then, being that learner, and then not only just knowing, what I needed to, but how you were going to make sure that I did get to that place for my
gaps.
I
think for me, being a lead impact coach, when you see the difference that approach makes to someone, and to see it build confidence in someone, you can see the value in all the points of the relationship. When you start working in action and you see it making a difference, not only for the children but also for the people around you and the teachers around you, it really helps you know that you're doing the right thing and that this is really powerful.
And it's something as a teacher that you've always wanted, and now we've got this opportunity. And like I said earlier, I got a little bit like, oh, I can't. And I thought, well, this is everything I've always wanted as a teacher to be able to do with my students. And we've got this amazing opportunity. We're leading the way in our area, and we're going to change lives. We're going to change the way that we interact. And I'm not just going to be a teacher or a few teachers in a school. We're all going to be on the same wavelength, working for the same common good of how we can build these relationships and help our tamariki to move forward and learn. So what I've now realised with this buddy person and what their role is that they're working through the profile with me. It's not just a piece of paper, it's actually a real thing for me. Like, they reject my deficit thinking, they get alongside and help me to kind of convert that to more of an agentic way of thinking. They show me caring. I know that they care. They have high expectations for what they know that I can achieve and what they want me to do within my school, with my teachers and with the students. And I feel that I think my eyes have opened to the fact that it's not just about the relationships that we're trying to build with the children, it's the relationships that we're building across the staff, and that we need to be on the same path to get our stuff sorted, really. I think we've had a long time as staff, we're going off in different directions. I talk with different teachers about this all the time, and I think this gets us back into building relationships with each other and really focusing on how we're going to do that. And the 5 points of the profile just clearly kind of help you direct yourself through it to make sure that you're covering everything that you need to ensure the best relationship possible.